Leo.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay.
Now you want to ask something or like
You
it's
want,
just
No,
yeah, we
no,
see your
no.
hand up. Okay, okay. So you just put your hand down so that we understand that, you know.
yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so let me start with that. Okay, so basically to download Kali Linux, you can do two things. Okay, so I have VMware. You guys must have virtual machine or anything, but they work the same. Okay, the principle will be same. So usually what you can do is you can just go to, like, you can just say Kali Linux download, right? It will like take you to the website, official website. Yeah, you can say get Kali, click on that, and here it is. It will take you to the platform, like whatever platform you are using, you can download. So either you can choose the virtual machine. For example, you want to run for the virtual machine itself, you can download this one. Installer image means it will be a full image, like you have to set up on your own from scratch. Okay, so either you can use this one, because this one will give you more, you can say, options to work with. So I have Stanley, I have this one. This one I'll have to download. This may take a little bit of time. Can I show this one? Installer image. I have this one on my PC right now.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Because it's easy. It's not like much to do. It will be just the next thing. Okay. So usually, if you guys are using virtual machine or uh, uh, what is it called, virtual box, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
both are the virtualizer platform. So it will be kind of same. A little bit UI difference will be there, but most of the process will be same. The installation process will be totally same. Okay. So here usually what we do is we click on create a new virtual machine. It's like just creating that thing, that instance, right? But on the local. And here we choose the recommended. So by default, we'll be choosing all the recommended settings. We will not be touching a lot of things, and that will be more than enough. You don't need to do a lot. So click on next. Here, I'll just choose the operating system later, because I can choose it here, but it will have some little bit of problems. Using this thing will be like give us more choice, this one. So I'll just use operating system later. Next, we'll need to define what type of operating system we will be working on. So Kali is a Linux, right? As the name suggests, Kali Linux. So we'll be using Linux. And here you can either use Ubuntu. Ubuntu, see, Kali is a flavor of Linux, the same Linux as Ubuntu. So it's on you. Either you can use Ubuntu, or if you see Kali somewhere, you can use Debian as well. But remember this thing, this will not tell you that like this won't affect anything. Even if you use anything here, even if you choose Red Hat, doesn't matter, it won't affect. This is just like a tag that you can see, and yeah, like it will let you know, okay, what kind of Linux I'm using. So Kali is most related to Ubuntu, because we don't have Kali here, so I'm just going with Ubuntu. And here now, where you need to store the image, like when you install the operating system, where do you want to store it? So what I can do is I can maybe, one second, let me create a folder in somewhere I have space. Yeah, let me create here. I think I should, yeah, there it is. Let me create here. So what I'll do is I'll just yeah, this one should have. So I'll just name it Kali. Enter. We go back and browse there. So I'll just go back, and this PC, I created the folder here. Where is that? Kali. Maybe it's here. Yeah, there it is. Kali. So I'll just choose this folder, so that whatever Kali creates, it will be like inside this folder. It will be stored here. Next, how much space you want to give. So specifically, I should say like 20 GB will be a little bit less. I would recommend you to at least go with 30 or more than that, right? I'm choosing 50, I have, but you should use like 30, minimum 30 at least, because 20 will not be sufficient. After a while, it will start like filling up. So 30 or 50 will be more than enough. And do not change anything here. Just use as it is. You don't need to change anything. Just choose the space, like how much you need, and that's it. Next. And here you need to customize the hardware. See, this is really important, because you're running the virtual machine on your own PC, right? So what is important is you will have to know how much storage your machine will need. Let me remove this Docker. This will take up my memory. Let me close this. So it's like I'm running a lot of things. So by default, what you can do is to choose this, a specific setting, right? What will be required for you, or what will be good for you. For Linux, Kali Linux, at least you will need 4 gigs of RAM, at least, to like run it smoothly. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just do task manager, like right click here on this taskbar. It will open the task manager. Here you can go here on this CPU and memory. So if you see here, I have 31 GB of memory, right? Some of you may have 16 GB of memory. Some of you, like, that's rare. Someone may have 4 GB of memory, right? Doesn't like, oh, 8 GB of memory, sorry. That is the minimum. But whoever has 16 GB of memory, they should be good with the virtualizer. So at least you will need 4 GB. So what I'll do, I'll just drag it to 4 GB. There it is. See, just slide up. That's it. So it is chosen the 4 GB. Now I need to put the disk, like what disk to use, what ISO image to use. So I'll just use CD, DVD, use ISO and browse wherever the image is downloaded. So if your image is downloaded in the downloads folder, you can copy from there. Mine is here in this folder. I think, yeah, this folder, mine is here. So there it is, Kali Linux. So this installer image that we downloaded, this one, this is what I chose here. So you need to choose this image, and this image will be called as ISO. There it is. So you choose this, and that's it, done, nothing extra. Close and finish. And your 90% part is done. This is the most important part when creating the virtual machine, because if you use, or if you don't use, like choose this setting correctly, your PC may have starts, like your PC may start seeing issues, because maybe you choose like more memory and your PC doesn't have that much memory, so it will start showing. Now it's just like install, like next. So here it is saying graphical install. I'll just go with that. Enter. That's it. Nothing else. Enter. Choose the first option. It will take a little bit of time to like boot up. It's like booting up your operating system when you enable. So what language you want? See, by default it is on English. Nothing to change. Just continue. United States, that's okay. You can choose either your own country. You can choose United States. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because it's just the location. You can choose, right? For example, I choose India. Doesn't matter. It's just the time. The time that will be on this machine will be sync up to India time. Like if you choose Africa, it will choose up like sync up to African time. If you choose US, it will sync up to US time. Okay. So do not change much. You can just do next. That should be okay. Keyboard, American English, doesn't matter. It's all good. American English, next. And now it will detect like, okay, whatever you have chose is like correct. So let it do its thing.
Sin, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think they know how to get the VMware software that you're using to run Kali on
I
it.
can share that if you want.
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't think they know how to get it. So like what you're doing, everything is
This is free of
outstanding.
cost, by the way.
Yeah,
I
I
can
know, I know
share
it's
if you want.
I, yeah, I know it's
Uh-huh.
free. I know that it's free. Like this system you're using
Uh-huh.
the VMware, right? The
Uh-huh.
virtual
Uh-huh.
machine or the virtual box to run Kali on it.
Hmm.
So, but they don't even know how to get the virtual machine. So maybe
Oh,
maybe
really?
maybe you can start from them
Okay,
how to
okay,
get the
okay,
virtual
okay.
machine. Yeah, then we can continue from here. I don't know if you
Okay,
understand.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can share the setup, by the way. They don't need to like go here and there. I can share the setup. They can just like download from there and then install and start working.
Okay.
If that will be a good option, yeah. I can share the key.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show the installer also, because this has a key, right? This is a
Mm-hmm.
pro version. This is free for
Okay.
like a single user, so it's like licensed already. You just need to
Okay.
install and like to run. Okay, I'll just share the setup. You just install, like it's all next. Nothing to
Uh,
add. And after
okay.
that, they will just open it. Just to make sure they have at least 16 GB of RAM, because you know the thing. They will need that much memory at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because 4 GB will take up, like this Kali will take up, and
Mm-hmm.
their system also needs some memory to run. Otherwise, like the system will crash if they run anything else. So that's why.
Okay. Let me ask them. Do you guys have PCs that have RAM above 8 GB? Are your personal
Yeah.
laptops? Okay.
And
What about
then you
you?
guys
What
should be
about
good.
Leo? Leo, is Leo here? Leo? I don't know if it's
Yes,
getting
sir.
me.
I have more than 16. Yeah, more than 8 GB of
Okay.
RAM.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
What about
Yep.
you, Tufi? What about you, Fi? I don't
So,
know if it's there.
so I have 8.
Okay, the 8 is good. I think you can run with
8
8.
will also work. Yeah, 8 will also work. For testing, you
Mm-hmm.
can use.
Okay. Okay, so it's okay. So just
But
go ahead.
remember one thing, when whoever has 8 GB of RAM, right? Remember one thing, whenever you are running this virtual machine, right? Make sure you're just using the virtual machine. Do not open Chrome and other tabs into your machine. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
that will eat up your RAM and the memory, like this virtual machine and the computer, both will crash. Crash means like it will restart and you'll have to again restart it again and then like that. So once, like when you are running a virtual machine, do not run anything else. Whatever you need to do, just do it on the virtual machine itself. Like don't open any tabs on the Chrome on the main machine. Because Kali can open browsers as well.
Do you
Okay.
guys understand?
So
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Okay, good. So now we need to give it a username. By the way, again, this username can be anything. We just give it Kali because we are running Kali, so the username may be Kali. Doesn't matter. This will be your user. Next, nothing to change. Now the password. Password can be anything because this is running locally, so you don't need to put like a very good password. So you can use any password. Like in my case, it's the reverse of root. So it's tool. Next, and that's it. You are done with the username and password, and that's it. You just need to install now everything. It will do everything on its own. You just need to like next. There. Just to continue, and continue, and continue. Here you choose to yes. Like wherever it says yes and no, choose yes. That's it. Yes was like whatever settings you have chosen. Like, do I apply it or not? So just choose yes in that time. Wherever it says yes and no, just choose yes. I'll share this on the drive, Stanley, with you. Okay, you can just download from your side and then you can share them, or you can share the drive link itself to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. Please, if you guys have any problems when you're working, if you have any difficulties,
Yeah, you
please
guys
endeavor
need
to
to practice. Yeah.
endeavor
Because if you
to
don't
ask
do it, you will
questions.
never have problems. Yeah, you will never
Yeah.
have problems if you don't practice. Never. You will think like, okay, what's there, or like, see, there will be two things. Either you will think like there's nothing to it. Either you'll think like it's really tough until you do it. The moment you do it, everything will be clear to you. Everyone is running Windows 11, right? I think someone was running Mac also.
Is everyone running Windows 11? Like, is everyone have Windows 11 installed on their PC?
Can also work. That should not be a problem, but I was just asking. But there was one, I think, who was running Mac or something.
Yeah, I think Leo has a Mac.
Yes, I have a Mac. Uh,
Yeah, with Mac it's okay. It depends on which Mac iOS operating system, which
Yeah.
version of Mac you're running. But it's okay. I think Mac will work.
Mac, he can run directly in the shell. Like, you don't need to install the whole Kali thing. His normal commands will work on Mac as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
so I didn't understand what he meant there.
What
No,
I
so
meant is Yeah, go
You
ahead.
can
Go ahead.
run,
Sorry.
yeah, you can run all the language command from your shell, from your command, from your CLI,
A
from your
command,
command
yeah,
line,
from
yeah,
your
from
command
your command
prompt,
line
yeah.
interface.
Yeah.
That's shell.
You
So
need to install those packages. Like for example,
Mhm.
if we are running, what was that? You need to like Hydra or anything, like any tool that you run, right? Just look at the package of Mac. You can directly install, and then you can run it directly from your terminal. Like it will be a single step for you that you need to install. Or like the best part is when we will like now I've shown you how to create instances, right? You can run the commands there as well, like it will work. But remember one thing, this thing is more easy because when you run those commands, cybersecurity commands on AWS, it will flag you that you are doing something mischievous. You're not supposed to run those commands. So usually never do like cybersecurity things on AWS cloud. But you can run it directly on your terminal. I'll show you. Don't worry, I'll show you that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, whenever like we will be doing these things, right? Just for Mac, I'll show you how you can install and then run it on your terminal. So the best part is Mac has a terminal that works similar as the Linux. So whatever command I run on the Ubuntu, it will work as it is on Mac.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, this will take a little bit, like 2-3 minutes. Done after that. Elvis and one more is missing, right? Or they have joined. While this is sharing, let me upload to the drive and share it with you guys. That will you can download. So, it's uploaded. Just going to install it. It's done now. It's done. This one is done. Yeah. Okay. Share this. Share. I'm putting this link in the chat. You guys can download from there. Okay, here it is. You guys can try download while this is installing. Just let me know if you guys can access it at least. Stanley, can you try? See, is it downloading?
Okay, let me try and see if it works. Please make sure that you are using your PCs to download, not your phones, please.
Don't download on phones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Installation is also done. Is it working? Stanley, did you check?
Yeah, I'm still downloading right now. I think
Oh,
it will work. I think it's going to work. So
is it taking time to download? Like it should be faster.
no.
Because some people
It's not. It's not taking time at all.
and try and
Yeah,
do you
what they
have it
say is,
installed on a PC? What? Sorry.
yeah, I have it installed. They say another instance of this setup is already running.
You can close that and then try installing it. This is the latest one, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, the very latest one. Like earlier was 25 to H2 and this is 26 H1. So the very latest one.
Yeah, I think I'll do that again. I'll try again later.
Sure.
But I know it's going to work. So
Yeah, that means you're already running a VMware, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there are also a couple of tools that we'll need probably later, like we'll need VS Code maybe later, but we'll show you guys how to do that, so how to download and install VS Code so that you
Yeah,
know
when
how
it comes
to.
to that, I'll show like how to install VS Code, how to implement like the plugins that are
Yeah.
required that you will use like in day-to-day terms, and then how to implement AI as well, like so that it can help you in assistance with what you are typing, what you are doing. That helps a lot to like go faster.
Okay, I think has anyone tried downloading you tried
The
accessing the
software, yeah.
file? Did anyone try?
Yes, I'm downloading it. It's taking some time. 15
It's
minutes
working,
left.
right?
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry. I'm lost. So what are we downloading? I'm so sorry.
This software
I
which
wasn't
we are
around.
installing.
I just log on, but I log in, but I disappeared.
Do one thing, just try downloading the software, and this software is used to like provision this Kali machine, because we'll need this VMware to run Kali locally on your PC. That is what we are doing.
So, Madam Mechanic, try to open your chat. There's a link inside the chat. So open the chat, you see a link. Yeah, you see a link to a drive inside the chat. So click on that link so that you can download the VMware on your PC. I hope you have space. How much RAM do you have on your PC?
I know I have my storage is 475.
No, not the
So
storage, the RAM.
Your RAM.
The RAM.
That's why I told you about
Okay.
your system information, how to pull your system information from your PC. So this is where you have to make me understand
Okay,
that.
so I should check it if I don't have enough, it won't take, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So usually you just right click here, task manager, and you
Right, no,
click
task
here
manager.
on this thing. Here you will see like how much memory you have. So this is what you will have.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be above 8 at least. Like that should be like your system will run.
So once I have that, I just click on this link.
No, you can click on this link. You can just download right now. And
I just download the link, right?
Yes. You just download it.
All right. Let me try then and see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and after installing, you see everything installed. It took a little bit of time because obviously the software is big and system is like small. And you just do yes, next. And here you need to choose. So here it says enter device manually. We don't need to enter anything. There is already an option, this one. And this is the last step. You don't need to do anything. That's it. This is the last step. Just choose this and continue. And that's it. Done. This there. See, finalizing the installation, and this will boot up the operating system, the Kali. So mostly I would recommend whenever you start working or whenever you are like learning something, always open your virtual machine and do everything from the virtual machine. Do not do it from Windows, because when you are on the virtual machine, mostly you will have to like go through these things. You'll have to practice, right? So you'll find everything here on the terminal and everything. And when you start doing with terminal or working with terminal, you will start learning. So try doing things with terminal and on the virtual machine. There it is, done. And that's it. Now it will reboot and we are done. Now the Kali will open. There it is. Enter. This is your first boot. The dragon is like shining. That's it. There it is. So remember the username was Kali. So we took Kali and the password I gave was like the reverse of root. That was tour, TWR, and login. And we are in. There it is. That's Kali for you. We are already there. So you will say like, yeah, here. See, all the icons came up. Now we just like, if you want to see the terminal, there it is on the top left. See here, this black one. When you click on this, this will open the terminal. Or there is one more option. Just like Windows, when you right click here, it will say open terminal here. And that's it. Open it and there it is, the terminal. And whatever we do, we can do it here. Like mkdir test folder, I want to create, enter. There it is. See, it created test folder here. Because I'm already on the desktop. There it is. If I do pwd, there I'm on the desktop. Home Kali desktop. So whatever we have learned on the Ubuntu side, you can execute everything here, everything. And if you want to like open AWS or everything, you can always use the browser. Browser is also available here. So I would recommend you to like do things from here. Do not use your normal PC, otherwise it will start hanging because you are running a virtual machine. And if you don't have that much memory, it will start hanging. And you can see in 4 GB also it is running fine. It's not like lagging too much. You can work with it. I can do like google.com. It will open. So first time it will take time because yeah, there it is. See, okay, it will open. So I hope this thing like you guys will try. So try first and then here you can just do remind me later and that's it. And this was it. Like this is how you install. There's nothing extra. And every command, every tool that Stanley was showing you, everything that we will show, everything will work here. So this will be your primary desktop. Is that clear?
That is, yeah. So I think also that there is a file that I shared with them. There is a file, there is a lesson that I shared with them that also has a step-by-step instruction. Yeah, it has a step-by-step instruction on how to download Kali Linux. So I don't know if you guys actually went to the notes and try to get Kali. But if you guys still have difficulties, so you can watch this video that is showing you so that you can actually get Kali up to speed so that you can practice at least for now the Linux commands on your
Yeah, it's all next.
yeah, on your PC. Then we will try to provision. I think before the end of next week or the end of this week, sorry, you guys should have access to the AWS account so that you guys can actually practice in the cloud and see how to provision the services in the cloud on your own.
Yeah.
So just bear with me. I think working back home it's very difficult to get people to do stuff. So they all want to do it maybe at their own convenience, so you don't have to force them. But Madam Ekane, I think you have to send me your Zelle number so I can sell you that $30 for your own for your AWS account. I know you can start creating your account because you are in the US. I think you and Elvis, you guys can create your account because I think you have your bank cards and stuff like that. So, but those in Africa and those in Cameroon, in particular, you guys will need those virtual Mastercards and virtual Visa cards to actually add a payment method on your cloud account. So, yeah, I think that's all. So, Singh, please just go ahead.
Okay. So I can close this, right? This one. We can get back to the topic, correct? Closed. Okay. Let's get back where we left off. Okay. So if you guys remember or not, I don't know, but let's rewind some things because we'll be learning about networking. Yeah, Leo?
So I have a question. I don't know if it's out of topic also. I wanted to ask this question about the virtual machine. Like everything you do on the virtual platform, like you just showed us here, when you save things in folders and files there, do they save on the cloud or they save in your laptop, your physical laptop?
So if we are doing with the VMware, the software that I was using to install Kali, right? If I'm using that, it will install on our local system because obviously we are installing locally, correct? But if we are provisioning an AWS machine, so that will like store in AWS, not on the local machine. Okay. So wherever you provision the machine, it will store there. So for example, if we are creating a machine on the local machine, right, it will store locally. If we are provisioning something on the cloud, it will be on the cloud.
Oh, okay, sir. Right, sir.
Right?
Understood.
So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So today we'll be learning about networking because this is the most important topic when you are coming into IT. The most important. If you understand networking, like networking is, you can say, the backbone of security. So if your network is secure, everything is secure. Everything. If your network is secure. So most of the vulnerabilities come in from the network. So if your network is not that secure, then nothing is secure. It's like your home. If your home has better parameters, right, with better security, like if I cannot breach even the parameter, how will I breach it to your home? So if you have to make your parameter more strong, and that is the network, right? So network is the first line of defense, you can say. So if your network is fine, obviously no one can breach it. They will never reach your main, you can say, resource if they can't breach a network. So that's why network is really important to understand. And this is a little bit, this can get a little bit complicated. This requires a little bit of like reading and understanding. But once you get a hold of it, remember one thing, the basics is same for any kind of technology. It doesn't matter. It is like data centers, it is a networking device, virtual machines, doesn't matter. Everything works on network. Without network, the machines are nothing. They cannot talk to each other. So that's why the network is the backbone, and that is what we'll be learning about, right? Like what do we have, what we require, and all sorts of things. Okay, let's start with what we started with, the EC2 instances, the virtual machines. Okay, so whenever you are creating a machine or when you are using a machine, right? For example, you are using a machine for this class. How are you connecting to me? You are connecting to me through the internet, right? And internet is called a WAN. WAN means wide area network, something that is like connected to all, that connects to all. Okay, and this is also called a public network. So usually what happens is whenever you're working on a public network, so let me understand you by this method. 1 second, then you will understand it better than I'll understand you this security group and all. Okay, let me one second. So a second. Okay. What does this do? Let me open the whiteboard again. Whiteboard. Okay. So let me explain you the basics of networking first, and then we will get on to a little bit of complicated, we can say, networking. So there are two kinds of networks. Okay, always remember, and this is for like everywhere. There are only two kinds of network. One is called a private network. One is called a private network, and the other is called a public network. Okay, let's understand this thing. So let's start with private first, and then I'll explain you the public ones. Okay. So remember one thing, anything that is private, for example, this is your home. Think the network as a home. Okay. If you have a home, and you have like rooms inside your home, right? And you have a door, maybe. So remember one thing, whatever you have inside this home, for example, you have room 1, you have room 2, 3, and 4. Right? Like 4 or 5, whatever you have. Okay. So the thing is, whenever someone wants to come in, first of all, will you allow anyone to come in to your home just like that?
No.
Right? You won't, because that's your private space, right? So remember one thing, private is something that is only allowed, like for example, your family members can get in. Correct? They have full access to all the rooms. Like if you're inside the home, you can access this one, all the rooms you can access. Correct? Because you're inside the home. So just like this, all of you may be using an internet device. So like most of you will be using a router. Everyone will have a router in their home, which they connect through, like the Wi-Fi or the LAN cable or whatever means you use. So every home has a router. Correct? You know what a router is, guys? Anyone knows what a router is?
Yes.
Everyone knows, correct? Okay, that's a good thing. So router is basically a device. Remember one thing, router is a device that enables the private network to connect to the public network. Okay. So remember one thing, whenever you have a router in your home, you must be connecting, maybe you have a desktop, you have a mobile, right? You have like multiple devices. Everything is connected to this thing. Remember one thing, what happens is, for example, my Wi-Fi, everyone can see, correct? This Wi-Fi. So right now, this Wi-Fi is connected to a router, right? If I click here for the information and I check here, there is an IP address. So IP address is like your local address through which router remembers. For example, when this device connects, when this device connects, this device, right? This connects to the router. What happens is, router gives this an IP address. So for example, here it gives 192.168.1.1, right? This device has this IP. And this device has 192.168.1.2. Okay. So like this router gives different IPs to different devices so that it can know. So these addresses are like names. For example, you have family members, right? Everyone will have a different name so that you can identify them, right? So that's how router also gives them an address or something that it can use to identify them. Now, think like, for example, this device, this one, right? This device says that, okay, I want to access google.com, for example. Okay. So the thing is, first of all, anything that is within this house, only they can access the router. You know how the router works, correct? You have to put a password to connect to the router, and only then you can access, right? So the thing is, remember one thing, anything within this private router or anything within like connected to this router will be inside its private network. This everything is private. So until you are part of this router, you cannot connect to other devices. But anything that is connected to the router, they can connect and talk to each other, the devices. Okay, so router, what it does, it gives everyone a private address, and all these addresses are private address. So this address that you're seeing, this one is a private address. This is my default gateway where the router is like connecting from. So this is all called a private network, and this private network is only available to you. If you are part of this private network, like if my device connects to this to your router, only then I can talk to your devices internally, or else I won't let, like it won't let me contact. Okay, so for example, this is your house. If I'm, for example, if I'm an outsider, right? Will I know? For example, I say, Madam Akane, right? I have never seen your home. Can I guess how your home looks like, or what, like how your rooms look like? Will I know ever? I will never know, correct? But if I get into your home, then I will have access to the whole home. Then I can see what is going on inside. I can go inside the rooms. I can talk to everyone within that particular house, right? But to do that, I will have to be within the house, and that is your private property. Am I correct? That is your private property. I cannot uh, talk, or I cannot access anything until I'm inside. Is that understandable? Like, are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
Guys,
yes, we are.
yeah, okay. So that's how the router also works. So router is your private property. So router is creating a network that is private. No one can access until you are part of that particular router. Okay, then only I can access. But the problem is internet doesn't work like that, right? And like internet is public. Public means anyone can come in and anyone can go out. For example, you are inside this thing, right? This is your router, and oh, what is happening here? So what happens is, if I want to go outside, will like for example, I have never gone outside. Will someone know me? Like I want to go to some place. I want to like say, hey, I'm this and this. I want to like use your services, or I want to go here and go here there. So the thing is, the problem is, I will, first of all, I will never know what is the address if I have never left my home. I will never know what is outside. Correct. So usually what happens is I will need a mediator. For example, in this case, this is the router. So what happens is, for example, let me remove this thing. Let me remove this thing. Let me explain how this thing works. So for example, I have a device, right? And this is connected to a router. This is my router and this is my device, right? This device has an IP called 192.168.1.1. My router has an IP, like it also has an IP. Router also have IPs. So for example, this is 1.0. The problem is router can only talk to, like the devices can only talk to router because they know only internal things, right? So whenever they want to ask something, whenever they want to like go outside, remember one thing, these devices cannot leave their places, right? Because they are connected to the router and they are dependent on the router. These devices do not have the functionality to convert addresses. For example, think like this. Like you are in Africa and you only know the language, African language, the native language, correct? And I'm coming from India. Maybe I also don't know English, correct? For example, I'm in India. I'm in India and I don't know English, okay? And I want to talk to you. So what will I need? I'll need a translator, right? Because see, the thing is, in internet, you have multiple devices talking in different languages, right? So the thing is, I will require some kind of translator that can translate. Otherwise, I cannot like talk to you, right? So usually what happens is, whenever I want to reach, for example, this device wants to reach google.com, right? It wants to reach google.com. The problem is there are multiple devices in between that is connecting google.com to this domain, right? There is something called a DNS server, domain name server. I'll come to that, like what that is, but basically there are like multiple devices. And the problem is your device cannot directly reach out to them because of a limitation. I will tell you what that limitation is. So the thing is, private IPs can only talk to each other, right? To connect to the internet, you will need something called a public IP. So whenever you are paying for an internet connection in your side, right, you're not paying for the internet, you're paying for that public IP. Because to connect to the internet, you will require something called a public IP. So if I show you here, this is my private IP that is given to me by the router, right? But the router is the only one that has access to the private public IP. So if I go here, if I check my, like, what's my IP? What's my IP? There it is. You will say, I see a different IP. Like, there it is. See, this is my IP. This is totally different from this IP. So when you are paying for an internet connection, right, this is what they're charging you for. They are charging you for a public IP. They are assigning you a public IP. And without this public IP, you cannot access the internet. Because internet only knows this IP. They do not know your internal IP. It does not recognize. That's what we pay for. So usually what happens is this router is a device. What it does is, let me remove this. Yeah. So what the router does is, router converts, for example, here it has 192.168.0.1, right? And here I have public IP.42. Maybe 68.0.1, maybe, just saying, okay? So router is the only device that can translate between a private IP and a public IP. So what happens whenever this device asks for google.com, what happens is this sends a request packet putting its IP that 192.168.1.1 is asking for google.com, right? Router sees, okay, this particular device is asking to go to google.com. And remember, private IPs cannot be recognized by public IPs, right? Public cannot recognize private IPs. So what this router does is, like, there are labels on it. So what it does is, it will take this label, the public IP label, and put this label on top of this. So what happens is, whenever this packet reaches to the internet, like this is all internet after this, whenever this packet goes out of the internet, right, it will see this IP, and this is recognized by like the internet, because this is a public IP. So public IP means, remember, whenever I say public IP, remember this thing, that this will always have internet access. Public means internet accessible. Everyone can see, everyone can use. Okay, so public means everyone that can be used. Like, everyone can use it, everyone can see it. Private means it will be only accessible if I am a part of you. So anything that is private means no one can get in. No one means no one. It's all offline kind of thing. So until and unless you connect your router with the internet cable, your internet will not work, because your internet cable, whenever you're plugging in the internet cable, it is giving you this public IP. And without this public IP, you cannot access the internet. So what happens is, whenever the packet goes, right, there is an IP, internet, like the private IP. This router puts on a public IP, replaces this. Not replace, like, it will just put one more label upon it with the public IP, with saying that, okay, I request google.com. So this public IP will go to google.com. Google will send a request back. And what happens is, because the request comes back to router will see, okay, who was asking me for the public IP? Like, sorry, for the google.com. It will remove the tag that it enabled. And below that tag, it has the private IP. And that's how it knows. And then whoever has this IP, it will send that request to that particular IP. So that's how it knows. So it's like a translator. I come to you, you said, okay, I will give you that request, I'll grant you that request. You go to get that request, because obviously you are the translator. You can have that that public, you can say, transportation or whatever you have. You go there, you fetch it for me, then you say, okay, who was it? Who asked me for this thing? And then you come back to me. So that's how your internet devices work. So router is a very important device. Router is the, you can say, is the most intelligent device, because it is the only one that can change between addresses from public to private and private to public. Only router can do, no other device can do. So that's why routers are important. And this is what we'll be learning. Like, this is what we'll be using. So remember one thing, the most important thing to remember is public and private. So did you guys get the idea of public and private? Public means, like in network, public always means something that has internet access. Private means you don't have an internet access, but it is like a private area network, where if you are part of that private network, only then you can talk to those devices, otherwise you cannot. just like a private home. If you are obviously within the home, you can talk to each other. If you are outside the home, you cannot access it. You cannot talk to anyone. So now you are in a public domain, or maybe you are in a different private network. So two different private networks cannot talk to each other. Always remember, two private networks cannot talk to each other. So if you are like, if I'm in home 1, you are in home 2, obviously we cannot talk to each other until unless we have a phone or something that connects us together. Is that clear? Guys, did you understand this, public and private? Anyone, any doubts?
Do you guys understand what he was explaining? Please, you guys should at least make it kind of interactive. If you understand, you can say yes. If
Yeah,
you don't
otherwise I'll
understand, you
give
can
you other
yeah.
examples, at least like as simple as possible.
So try to make the class interactive. If you understand something, just say yes. If you don't understand, still it's okay. Just say you don't understand so that he can maybe use another analogy to explain
Yeah.
the concept so that you understand. So just try to make it interactive.
This is a very important topic. Like if you understand this, you will understand everything after this. Yeah, Leo, you were asking something? You there?
Yeah, I think Leo was just indicating that he understands what you were trying to say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you understand public and private, this is what we'll be emphasizing on in the next classes also. Not the next classes, mainly in this networking section. Okay, I think we can continue then. So just a word of advice, whenever you hear the word public in IT, right, or in networking, that means any network that has that is publicly available or that is accessible on the internet. Okay, and anything private means you cannot reach it until you are part of that network. That's the gist of it. And router is the only device that can translate networks from like public to private and private to public. There is one more device, but that is not used anymore. That is called a bridge. That is not used anymore. So routers are the main thing nowadays. Okay, so that is what we'll be using. Like in the networking, this is what we'll be using. And this whole security group also depends on the network. So if your network is correct, your security groups will also it's just there to enhance your network. So remember one thing, to work with security group, you require the knowledge of two things. First is called, let me change it. Yeah. First is called ports, and the second is called services. Right? These are the two things. These are the two things that you require the knowledge of. Like first, you need to know what ports are, and then what services are. Okay, this is what security groups is based on. And security group, as I said earlier, also it is a firewall. Firewall means anything that looks at or that monitors your incoming and outgoing connections, and based on the rules it can allow or block. Okay, so in your normal PC, any PC that can connect to the internet or that can talk to the internet will have total 65,536 ports. Okay, this many ports we have in any PC that can talk to internet. PC or device like mobiles also have this many ports. The problem is all these ports for security reasons are blocked by default, at least in AWS. In your PC, it will not be blocked, by the way, until you open a service. Obviously, by default, like everyone is closed until you open it. But in AWS, there is a firewall called security group. It is called like security group, and this blocks everything until and unless you open it into the security group. So it will be blocked. All the ports will be blocked. So your security group is just there. Why is it not? Yeah. So your security group it's a firewall, and its job is to monitor incoming. Incoming means any connections trying to connect to the server, and outgoing connections. So incoming means like this is your server, right? This is your server, and this is a user. Maybe this is a user, right? This is a user. So if as a user, I'm trying to connect to the server, this will be called as incoming. And when the server is replying me, for example, I'm asking for google.com, right? This is the Google server. Now the Google will reply me that, okay, I am alive. Like if I go to google.com, it will say that, okay, yes, I am reachable. It will send you one more like reply. The server will send you a reply. And this reply will be called an outgoing. Now the server is trying to connect to me or to anything else. So anything that is coming into the server is called incoming. So anything coming to you is not incoming. Anything coming to the server is incoming. So when we are talking about incoming and outgoing, we are talking in the context of that server, not us or the other device. Okay. So incoming means anything that is coming to the server. Outgoing means anything that is going out of the server. Okay. So most of the times, the most important thing to protect is the incoming one. So by default, AWS, okay, allows everything for outgoing and denies everything for incoming. This is a default, you can say, thing for AWS. It denies everything for incoming and allows everything for outgoing. So the reason behind it is, again, let's go back to the home example that we were talking about. So if anyone wants to come inside your home, right? For example, we have a home. Anyone wants to come inside, like for example, I wants to come into your home. Will you allow me directly? Like if you don't know me, I want to come in. Will anyone allow me to your home? Or any unknown person?
No.
Right? Because that is obviously that's not a very good choice, right? You will always verify. Like, are you verified or are you authorized to come into my home? If you know me, you will let me in. Right? If you don't, you will just block me. Correct? But whoever is inside your home, for example, you have 4 family members into your home. Are they free to go out? Whenever they want.
Sorry?
I'm saying whoever is inside your home. For example, you did not let me in because you didn't know me, right? But whatever is like whoever is already inside your home, will you allow them to go out?
Yes, sir, they can go out.
Why?
Because
you trust them?
They are from inside, yes.
And you trust them, right? That's why they were inside in the first place, correct? That's why the same principle, these security also works on the same principle. So whenever you are creating a server, right? This server is on AWS, correct? So AWS by default says that, okay, inside the server, whatever is inside the server is all secure. I don't believe that there is something malicious inside the server, because when you create a server, it's all blank, right? And as a user, whatever you will put, obviously you will avoid putting anything that is malicious inside the server, correct? So outgoing is open by default in AWS, but incoming is always monitored. By the way, everywhere, incoming is always monitored because you know your infrastructure is secure, right? The only threat it has is from the incoming connections, because inside you're already protected. Did you get that example of what I'm trying to say? This is the same principle here. The threat is always from the incoming connection, most of the times, not from the outgoing. Because outgoing means internally everything is already secure. I trust it. So the connections can go out. Is that clear? That's why in security group, incoming connections are monitored and not the outgoing. You can monitor, like there's an option you can monitor, but by default, it's done like that, okay? So in security groups, what we do is we monitor two things. We monitor the port and we monitor the services. So I will give you a cheat sheet. Usually what happens is, for example, there are, you can say, well-known ports. Well-known ports means the ports that are used in your day-to-day life. For example, you have port 22 for SSH. So 22 is the port, SSH is the service. This service is used to connect to the EC2 instance. This is used to connect to the EC2 instance. Like we use this to connect to the Linux servers. Usually we use this SSH to log in, right? We have port 25. This is for basically mail servers. You have port 21. This is for FTP. So just like this, we have like, I think hundreds of like ports and well-known services. But these are some that we use in day-to-day life. And this is the one that we will use every day. So what happens is, by default, if you want to connect to your servers, right, mainly on AWS servers or on cloud, make sure this port should be open. If it is not open, then you cannot connect. Also, B.
Please, are these ports physical ports or are they?
No, these ports are not physical. No. These are not physical ports. Physical are like your USB ports, Thunderbolt port. They are different because physically, see, as I said, you have total 65,536. How can you create this many physical ports? Right? So it's all logical, like internal. You can say it's all internal, right? On the software level. So this allows the system to like work with different services, because at one time only one service can use. For example, your port 22 is used by SSH, right? If another service wants to run on this port 22, it cannot until this service is not used anymore. So then only the other service can use. And because a computer system can run multiple services at the time, right, at the same time, because these many apps that I'm running, everyone is running on a different, you can say, port number. So that's why you require these many ports. Okay, but it's very important to understand which port is doing what and what needs to be open. You cannot open all of them. It's a lot. Your system will be like open to all, right? And that's why we need these ports. Also, there is something called an IP address that I was explaining, right? So whenever you are opening a port, you will have to allow like whoever can come in and whoever can go out. In this case, this is the IP address. So in AWS, you have something called 0.0.0.0/0. This means this is open to all, or anything from the internet can access this port. That is what it means. But if I want like only I can access, if I say only I can access, I don't want everyone to access, only I can access. In that case, what I'll do, I'll grab my IP. For example, this is my IP. And then what I'll do, I'll just open this port for me. Like I'll just go here and I'll just put my IP here, 14.2 dot, whatever that is, like whatever that is. So if I put this IP, right, what will happen is that even if you have the key, even if port is open, whatever is there, like you got everything. As a hacker, you have everything. But you don't have this IP because IPs are unique. If you have an IP, I cannot have that IP again. So when I restrict the port to this IP, what will happen is only this IP will be allowed. Everything else will be closed off. They will be rejected. And that is where this thing comes in. And this is really important for firewall. And that's what is called a firewall. We can restrict the port, the service, and the IPs. And if you define all these three things, that is what, like, that means you are allowing these things. So let me demonstrate that. For example, I go here. I think I demonstrated earlier also, but let me show you again. Okay. So we go to EC2. Let me launch a server. So it's simple. Launch instance. Launch without a walkthrough. I don't need that. Give this server a name. This is optional. You can give it a name. You can leave it. That's optional. I'll just name it maybe web. I will choose the operating system. We will go with Ubuntu. Make sure it is free tier eligible. This is really important. Whenever you're choosing this operating system and the machine, make sure it says free tier eligible. Do not change anything. Just choose Ubuntu. It will by default be on free tier. Scroll down. Again, you have free tier. You don't need to change this. Keypair as I said, you can either use this or you can, yes, Chi?
So please, I want to ask, please, when creating instances, why must it be free? Why must it be free tier eligible?
Because you don't want to pay for the instances, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, free tier means like whatever you're using will be free of cost. And that is our whole process, right? We want to be as free as possible, because the problem is cloud can cost you a lot if not used properly. So this will like keep you free of cost. This won't charge anything. So I'll just go with proceed with no keypad. You can create a keypad. By default, you can also go with this option. Like you don't need, you can directly connect from here. And allow, this is the ports that I was talking about. So I'll come to that. Let me remove that. Let me go back, and 8 GB is more than enough. You don't need to change. Just launch. So I will demonstrate something. So for example, okay. So everyone must be knowing about WordPress, right? It's a web server, like a website kind of thing that you can deploy and then you can create your own website, correct? So it's mainly a web service, okay? And web services work on port 80. By default, it works on port 80. So what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate something, okay? So sudo apt update, that's the first thing that you will do. Whenever on a new machine, remember, on a new machine, Linux, right? Even if you are working on a Kali Linux, like when you're installing a Kali Linux, once you have done the installation, always open the terminal and run this command. This is really important. Otherwise, there will be issues will start coming up. So you always want to do it only the first time. You don't need to like log in every time. Once you have done it, that's it. You don't have to do it again. It's just a one-time process. But whenever you're logging to a new Linux machine, always run this command, sudo apt update. It will update the repository, and then you won't have any issues. So what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate something. So sudo apt install Apache 2. So I'm installing a web server just to demonstrate a security group feature, like how the security group works and how they deny. There, okay, it's installed. So by default, this is my address. So address means like this is where I can access my web server. I can see what is going on. So if I paste enter, by default, nothing will open. It won't work. There, this site can't be reached. So if I go here on this instance and I go to security, this is where you will find security group. And below this, you can see inbound. Remember one thing again, inbound means incoming, outbound means outgoing, right? So right now, only incoming service is there. And what service is that? Port 22 TCP. And this is called SSH service. If I close this service, I won't be able to log into the machine. This service is used to log into Linux machines. If you close this, you cannot connect to Linux machines. So this is really important service. So like once you start working, you will start remembering these services also. So when I want to run a web server uses a different service that is called HTTP. It works on port 80. You don't need to remember all these things like most of the times because these famous services are already mentioned here. So if I go here on the security group and let me add an inbound rule, because outbound, as I said, it's open to all. You see, it's all open. All traffic 0.0 like open to all. Inbound is you can say closed off. So if I go to edit, add rule, and I choose HTTP, this is the service there it is. This is the service which web servers use. Like if you are deploying WordPress, you will have to open this service. Otherwise, your WordPress will not show up. So I'm opening for all. For now, I'm opening for all. Like everyone on the internet can access. So if I click on save, and again, if I check refresh, it should open now. Let me see. Oh, one thing. I know why it's not open. Yeah, there it is. It should open now. There. Because you see here, it says HTTP server is working. So, for example, let me share you guys this thing. And you guys try to open this. Let me know if whoever can open it. Just click on it. See, are you seeing this page or not? Just try opening it. Like, just click on it, it will open, I think.
I can see it.
You can see it, right? So yes. The thing is, right now, you can see it because it is open to all. You see this thing? It's open to all internet, right? I have no specific IP. It's 0.0.0 means open to all. What if I again go to edit and I change this IP? I change this to my IP. Like there's an option here, my IP. This is my public. This is my IP. 49.36.169.21. If I check, there it is. See, this is my IP. It can detect, right? Now, if I save this rule and I go here and refresh, my page is still opening. Can you refresh your page? See, is it still opening for you or not? Technically, it should not open for you anymore.
Yes, sir,
it's not opening.
It's not, right? That's what the firewall is for. What I did is I restricted my IP that only, so this is an allow list. This is an allow list. Whatever you allow here, only they will get the access. Other ones, everyone is denied by default. Everyone is denied.
This is sorry for cutting you short, saying this is a very, very important concept in network security that you guys need to master, because security groups are the fundamentals for cybersecurity when you're securing your instances, because you need to know how to create in and outbound rules for your remote database servers and stuff like that. So you need to know how to open ports and how to close ports. So
yeah, and this is something that we'll be using extensively every
day. Yeah, because you might have a problem as we are moving forward. There might be some services that we are provisioning, but the moment we forget to create inbound rules for them, they will not have access to those services. So we need to come back to your instance and open those ports, then go back and refresh. So you guys have to understand this. These are the basic concepts that you guys need to master. So please, I think that he's doing a good job trying to explain, making it practical so that you guys can test and see how it works. So you guys should please pay attention.
Yeah, because there can be two scenarios if you mess this up, right? In the production or in your company. So the first scenario will be either you won't be able to access anything, because if you don't open the port, you cannot open the service, correct? And the second biggest disaster can be if you open it for all. For example, you open port this 22 or any port that is not supposed to open, database port maybe. You open for all. You did not restrict it to a specific service or to the authorized service, right? You may end up giving that access to everyone on the internet. Like if they can hack a key, obviously they can have access. But we can restrict the access. See, this is only important because, for example, if someone hacked my key or my password to this EC2 instance, and I restrict the port 22 to my IP. So as I said, IPs are unique. If an IP is allotted to me, right, it cannot be allotted to anyone in the world. So for example, this IP is allotted to me. This IP cannot be allotted to anyone in the world. It will be only belong to me. And that is what I'm paying for. This is what your internet provider is asking you for money. That's what you're paying for. Everyone will have a unique IP. No one will have the same IP. Never in this whole world. You will not have the same IP. And that's why it makes it unique. So even if you get my password, even if you get my username, you will never be able to log in because this will deny you. Because it is restricted to me and not you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please.
That's why this is.
Please, this is very, very important. If you know this concept, if you know this idea of private and public IPs, you know this concept of in and outbound rules within your security groups. You are on a good footing. This is one of the most important things people mess up, because when it gets to probably your second one, when we are provisioning for these services, you will see how all these things play, how they come together. You see how everything that we are teaching you, how they will come together, how we are making sure that everything is secure. So please, Just pay attention.
Let me demonstrate the public and private IP also. So this is my public IP, right? Public IP means I have access. I have access to the internet, and the internet knows me. Correct? That's why I'm able to open this thing, and you guys were able to open that, right? What if, because see, this IP is mine as well. This IP, this private IP, that is also mine, right? What if I use this one? So I go here, let me edit this IP and put my private IP here, not the public one, the private IP. Then I put this private IP. So what do you guys think? Will it open or not? Anyone, any guesses? Will this open for me or not?
It won't.
Yeah, you're correct. It won't. So can you answer me why it won't? Like, any ideas?
Sir, please, I didn't get the question. Can I get the question again?
I'm saying that as you said, like it won't be able to access, right? I won't be able to access with my private IP. Yeah, when I put my private IP here, right? This is my IP. There, this one, and I'm still not able to access this with my private IP. So why can't I open? Because this is my IP only, but it's still not letting me open. So why is that?
Wrong password.
No. I didn't even use a password.
Because the public cannot read the private.
No.
If I'm not wrong.
Okay, let me explain you that. Okay, let me. Go ahead. Just guess. That's what it makes like fun.
Yeah, go ahead, Ghislaine. You want to say something?
Take guesses.
I was about to say, I think it's because you haven't given yourself, your private IP, the permission to.
No. Okay, let me explain now. Okay, that's like, this is where you will start understanding. Let me explain something. So the EC2 instance is on AWS, correct? AWS, right? The EC2 is here. Am I right? This is here, right? And my private IP is within my home. Like, this is my home. And you remember the router gives the private IP. So my desktop is here, and this is connected to the router, correct? So the thing is, the private IP is given to me by the router. Here the IP is given to this by the AWS, right? But between that, what is between us? The internet. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So the problem is, internet only recognizes what? Public IP? Because this is a public domain. Remember, as I said, anything that is public means they have access to the internet, right? And that's why we need this IP, this one. So for example, if you can access internet just by using the router, why do you pay for the internet? Like, do you need internet provider after that? You can just remove the internet cable plug given by a provider. You can just buy a router and then start using internet. You cannot do that. Correct? Can you?
No.
Just by using a router, can you connect to the internet?
No,
you cannot.
Sir.
No, sir.
Why? Because you don't have a public IP.
A public IP.
Right? So what happens is, this router converts your private IP to public IPs so that your public IP or your request can go through the internet and reach where it's supposed to be. Right? So for example, here this is private. No one knows private on the internet. No one. It is private because it is supposed to be private. Private means no one will have access to you until and unless they are within your network. Outside here, no one knows. Who are you? What are you? No one knows. And that is the whole purpose. It is supposed to remain private for security reasons. For example, you will never tell me your home layout. Is that a good option to like put your home designs on the internet? Is that a good option? Your private information.
No.
Putting on the public domain.
No,
it's
sir.
not, right?
Yeah.
So you want, like, even if you want to share something, you want your data to be encrypted. You want your data to be masked, right? Changed to something else. And then only whoever requires or who is authorized to read, only they can read. Correct? That's how we want our data to be, correct? That's how this also works. Here, the request goes through the private IP and the public IP is masking the private IP. So everyone outside the internet is seeing the public IP, not the private IP. When the request comes back within the router knows what the private IP is because it is the one who is sharing that private IP to everyone. Is that clear? So that's why AWS cannot read what my private IP is. It is seeing, like I just put the private IP, but it doesn't know what that IP is, where to reach and how to reach there. For example, today I give you my address. Will you be able to reach me without any help or without knowing?
No.
You cannot. So you will need someone, you need a map, you need something that can guide you to that, right? That's how these things also work. Okay, so private IPs are something that is only used by your network. If you go outside, you cannot. Yeah, Leo?
Sir, I want to ask if I get you clear, can you in the same term say that the internet can be considered as the public and your personal devices are private, which now the router.
No. Personal devices, see, the thing is, personal devices cannot have their own names or addresses. They cannot generate addresses. That's why the router comes in, because router is a networking device that can give you addresses. So for example, again, same thing, like you are creating a company. Maybe you're creating a company. Each company will give you a specific user ID so that they can identify you, that you are their employee. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So outside of the company, will someone know you with just your ID, with your company ID?
No, sir.
Only your company people will know you, correct? But yes, when you are coming to me, for example, you are representing your company, you're coming to me, I will know your company, not you. Because why? Your company is in the public domain, not you. Your company is dealing, correct? So that's how the router is also. Router is kind of a HR department who is sharing all the IDs to them, right? And it is sharing, like it is representing the public IP is representing you. So the internet knows your public IP, not you, not your private IPs. Devices cannot have private IPs. They cannot generate. It's not a networking device. Okay, so routers help the devices to get addresses. So routers allow them private address so that obviously it can know how many devices it is handling, right? Like how many addresses it has. Only router knows the private address. No one else knows. So until you are connected to the router, you can never know what is going inside. That's why it is private, right? So each private network is isolated to each other. So for example, I have one more home, right? House 2, and I have a router here. So this router will not know anything about this router. They will be isolated. And that's how networking works. Because, for example, you live besides me, right? I'm connected to my router. You're connected to your router. Will you want me to have access to your router?
No.
Or do you want your neighbor to have access to your router or your network?
No.
Never, right? Because that's the privacy feature, right? It's a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Right, so that's why private networks it is supposed to remain private, because we want privacy. We don't want anyone to intrude in. We don't want anyone to know until and unless we share the address. Okay, that's how it works. But public IPs means they are publicly known on the internet. So if you have a public IP, you can reach out to the internet and other services. So if I want to connect from my device to your device, right, I'll have to use a public IP. That is the internet. And everyone on the internet has an address, and those addresses are unique IPs, and this is what they are, like this. Everyone, when you go to what's my IP, you will get your public IP. Is that clear? That's why AWS, that's why AWS was not able to communicate, because this is my private IP. It doesn't know what that is and where this is. That's why. And public IP, it started working. In the first time it started working, because it knows. Okay, so that's what it is. I hope that is clear. So that is what the security groups are in virtual firewall, and that we tested also inbound and outbound. And we can do for like any ports. Okay, let me explain this thing and then I'll come back to this one, because this is also something that requires a lot of things. Let me start with this thing. So in in your machines, we already talked about the IP addresses, right? And the firewall. So remember one thing, when we are creating an EC2 instance, we used an operating system, an OS, that was Ubuntu here. Remember, we were using Ubuntu to create the instance. And then for the hardware, we used a free tier like T2 micro or T3 micro. That was the free tier. That was our hardware, right? But for the PCs to work, what else do we have? Like that is very important for the PC to run. Not just the operating system and the hardware. There is one more thing that is required for the PC to work. Can anyone guess what that is?
I already told you guys about this. I don't know if you guys, I told you guys from day one that you guys will be provisioning something like a PC, but in the cloud. So it's the same analogy that he's trying to use. So what else? You guys you have your server, you have your instance already set up. So
like for example, whenever you buy a device, what are the specifications that you look for in a device?
Storage.
Whenever, for example, you are buying a phone, right? What are the specifications that you will look before buying the phone or a laptop or anything, any device?
Storage. You
look at the storage, you look at the CPU, how much RAM is there, right? Usually most of the time storage. For example, you're buying an iPhone, you look for, does it have like 256 gigs of storage? Does it have 512 gigs of storage or 1 terabyte storage? That is really important, correct? Because that is something that you will be using day to day and it will keep on increasing. Am I right? The use of it, it will keep on increasing, and that is storage. So in your machines, right, storage also plays a very important part. And in AWS also, you have something of a storage, because without storage, where you store your data, that is really important, right? You can create a machine, but if you cannot store a data, there's no mean of it, correct? So in EC2, the storage is called EBS, Elastic Block Storage. This is just a name. This is your hard drive only. But in AWS, they wanted to make it a little bit fancy. So they named it EBS, Elastic Block Storage. So don't confuse it with anything. It is not something that is like a networking thing or something. It is just your hard drive, but with this name. EBS, it's called EBS. Yeah, it's your hard drive only. But they're using a fancy name.
It's fancy name, so you guys don't be scared.
Yeah, so it's hard drive only. Okay, is that clear? And they call it an EBS storage or EBS drive. Okay, and this is also called persistent data. And this term is very important. That is called persistent data. So can anyone explain me what persistent means? And this is the common English word only, like nothing hidden or something. It's the same thing, what you will be thinking of. If you know what persistent means.
The answer is right there in front of you. The answer is on your screen. Persistent data.
It's on your screen also.
It's on the screen.
Constant.
What?
Like constant data, like data that comes frequently.
The data that persists, not constant.
It's not persists.
Okay.
No.
Let me explain. Okay. No worries. Don't get confused. So, for example, I store something on my hard drive, because this is hard drive only. Okay. So I store anything on my hard drive, or in your phone also. Take the example of your phone, right? So if you download something on your phone and your phone gets shut down and you start your phone, will the data be there or will it be gone? Like once you download something and you restarted the phone, it will be there, right? Why? Why it will be there? Like why it doesn't get
it was already saved on the device.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask that same question another way. Consider that your laptop gets bad, right? And you can access your laptop, like the screen of a laptop is bad, and you have to take out the hard drive of your laptop. When your laptop is bad, doesn't necessarily mean that your hard drive is bad.
No, sir.
Simple. So it means that the hard drive can persist data on its own independently without depending on the OS.
Yeah, like we used to use SD cards in earlier days. We remove the SD card, put it in a different device, the data is still there.
That is why
it is
on the screen.
Storage. Yeah.
That is why it is on the screen that independently of the running life of an EC2 instance. It means even if your instance shuts down, you still have your EBS.
Yes, you still have your data.
Still have your data.
So your SSDs, HDDs, they are all persistent drives.
Please, you guys should read so that you can pass your exams too. Because these are things you have your answer in front of you and you cannot answer. Please read. Okay.
Yeah, and also it gives you durability and availability. Durability means like it's not easy to lose your data there, right? You can just remove the SD card and put it into something else. It's not easy to destroy SD card like that. Like if within that phone, if you have SD card, right, and you drop your phone, the SD card won't get damaged or your hard drive won't get damaged that easy, right? Your system can damage, but the hard drive and SD cards are not that easy to damage. That's why it is durable. Availability means you just switch from one device to another device, you will still have your data. So it's like available all the time. And it's scalable. Scalable means the best part of scalable means like you cannot do that in an iPhone. Like that is a different, I can not even give that example. But scalable means you can increase the hard drive storage. For example, in your PC, you have a hard drive for like 480 GB, right? You added one more drive. You can add in virtual machines, you can increase the same drive. In normal, like in physical world, you cannot do that, but in virtual machines, you can do that. You can increase the existing hard drive from 80 GB to 160 GB to 250 GB, depends like how much you have. So it is scalable and scale down also, like you can scale down and scale up. It's on you. If you don't want the hard drive, just remove the other hard drive. Now it will scale down to like 480 GB to 360 GB, whatever that is. Okay, so there is like limitless scalability. You can, no, this is a different one. So there is like, there is scalability. You can like scale up or scale down based on whatever, how much space you need. Usually in cloud, there is a little bit difference. So in cloud, in AWS, okay, you can scale up, but you cannot scale down. That is a thing in cloud. You cannot scale down once you scale up. In virtual machines also, you can scale up, but you cannot scale down. So that is the thing. So until and unless, and remember one thing, persistent drives are costly. The most costliest storage is persistent drive. For example, if you want to go and buy an SSD today, that will be the most costliest storage part you will buy. Right? Because if you want to switch from iPhone 256 to 512, you will be paying a hefty amount. Mommy. Because obviously the storage is costly. Mommy. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then there is one more type of storage. Like storage is not even persistent every time. There is one more storage that is called, you guys are used just now. You have used just now. Remember we used Google Drive just now. Google Drive, right? That is something called a cloud storage. Google Drive is a cloud storage. So that is a second kind of storage that can be used. There are basically three kinds of storage. So second kind is called a cloud storage. So what cloud storage is? Cloud storage. Sorry for my bad handwriting, but yeah. So usually what happens is in cloud storage, things work a little bit different. Okay. Here, first of all, the best part of this storage. Can anyone tell me the best part of the storage? The best part, like you don't even get it in any kind of storage. This is something that is the best when it comes to this kind of storage, like Google Drive.
So you can access it from anywhere.
Yes,
or from
exactly. Exactly. This is why this storage exists, because this storage gives you the independence to access it from anywhere. Because for for EBS, you can only access from that device, like your hard drive, right? The moment you have your hard drive, only then you can access the hard drive. If you don't have access to your hard drive, you cannot access the data, right? But in cloud storage, that is not the case. You can access this data unless you have internet, right? And it is accessible to you. Because see, this is the only, you can say, security feature it has. We can share whoever we want to. If that file is not shared to that person, they cannot access. That is clear, right? You guys are using it, so you must be knowing about that, right? So until you share this, like, it is not accessible to anyone, right? So the moment you share, you can access from anywhere in the world, anywhere. You just need to have internet on it, correct? Second best part is that this has unlimited storage. There is no limit, by the way. Unlimited. EBS storage is kind of limited. Like, it is also unlimited, but it's very costly. It's not that easy to be unlimited, right? But this storage is cheap. This is really cheap. This is cheap. For example, and it is unlimited storage. I can scale. You see, it can be scaled, limitless scalability. Limitless means there is no limit. For example, I don't know how much you guys have, but if you see here, like, they are charging you for that. But if you see here, I have almost 5 terabytes of storage. Everyone will have different storage. Maybe you have 2 terabytes. Maybe someone has 16 GB, like 15 GB, 30 GB, 100 GBs, right? So this is scalable. I want to get more storage. I can just click on it and I can buy more. So this is limitless scalability, right? Unmatched durability, because unmatched durability means this is available every time. Doesn't matter, it is night, day. So the cloud providers tell you that they will give you this much availability. 999, like, it's like 9 times, I think. This much availability. So they say we will be available this much time. That means every time, almost every time. Like, there's only 0.00001%, you can say, feasibility that they will go down, but it's not that easy to go down. And then robust security. Robust security means, as I said, first of all, the data, for example, the file that you accessed just now, it was end-to-end encrypted. The VMware file, it was totally encrypted. Second thing, like, that was the first security, encryption. Encrypted, right? They were encrypted. The second part was only to the shared person or only to the authorized personnel. So if you are authorized, only then you can access the file, otherwise you cannot access it. The best part of cloud storage is cost effectiveness. Cloud storage is the cheapest option of any storage. So cloud is the cheapest. Hard drives are the costliest. And there is one more that is called network drive. So as network drive says that it is accessible on your network, so it can be accessible on a public network or a private network. But remember, the only part is you should be a part of that network to access it. If you are not part of that network, you cannot access that storage. And this sits in between them. Like, this is not even that costlier, but this is not even cheap. So this sits in between. Usually this is used inside offices. So for example, you have an office, right? And the offices share drives there where they put like their team data. So you don't want this data to be shared outside your network. You want it to be shared within the network. So companies use it most of the times. This is also called network file storage, NFS, network file storage. In AWS, it is called EFS, elastic file storage. They call everything elastic, like EBS, elastic block storage, EFS, elastic file storage, but it's the cloud only that they are calling something else, but everything they call elastic. So storage thing is clear. This cloud storage and this normal storage, is that clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's clear.
I think we can end today's class with that.
Yeah.
Then you can show them EBS on how to provision EBS
Sure.
on EC2 instance, and I
Let
think
me let me show you. Let me show them a few things on EBS. Okay, no worries.
yeah.
Okay, so if I go to the instance, right? So everything you will find here. So here you will see the detail of the instance, like what we have, what kind of network we have, what public IP, what private IP. You see, this also has a private IP. But do not think that you can access this instance via the private IP, because this is private to this instance, not you. Your network is private to you, not this instance. So they cannot talk to each other. So you and this instance can only talk to you with this public IP. So you are talking with your public IP, the instance is talking with like his public IP. So when you are accessing this instance on this service, you are accessing via this public IP, this instance public IP. Okay. And then when you go to storage here, this is where you will see the EBS, the elastic block storage, or the hard drive. Here you can see that, okay, this is the size of the hard drive. And remember one thing, as I said, you can increase the size of the hard drive. Like when I click on volumes, this will take me to the hard drive. There it is. I can increase the size. So for example, I go and choose the hard drive. I click on action and modify volume. And I just change it to maybe 10 GB. Modify. Okay, let it modify. It will take a little bit of time because it's initializing. But the problem here now is, see, it is modifying. It is initializing. 93% is already done. It should be done in a while. The problem is, if I try to reduce the size now, like it is modifying, if I try to reduce the size, like it won't come up until it is okay. Let's just wait a little bit. It should be done in a while. The problem is it won't let me go back. Once I have created a hard drive, like increase the size of the hard drive, it won't let me go back. Because here in AWS, see, the whole point is they are doing a business, right? Most of the times in like virtual machines also, in local machines also, usually you don't go back because you have so much data, you want to increase the size. Okay, so usually they won't let you go back. You can increase the size of the storage, but you cannot reduce back. In local PCs, you can do that. You can just remove the hard drive. If you don't need it, remove the other hard drive. But here you cannot do that. You can increase, but you cannot go back. So they will start charging you. So here we have to be really cautious when you want to increase the size, because the more we increase, that means the more resource we are using, and that means the more payment we have to give them. And remember the size, 30 GB max. I'm talking about the free tier. You cannot go beyond 30 GB. So 30 GB should be the max size of the storage combined. If you are running two storages, or sorry, if you're running two EC2 instance, then make sure you use 15 GB each on the instances. Do not go beyond 30, it will start charging you. So I would request you, just like remember these terms. You don't want to go beyond that.
Each time he talks about cost, please take note, take these points that he's telling you down. Because if you mess up and you go if you go and spin up two instances and you put them for 15, you're already on 45. The account that
start paying for both of them.
You start paying for both of them. So they don't care if it was a mistake. But the moment you start creating those instances and you start provisioning, you start using them, you start connecting to them, they immediately start billing you.
Yeah.
So
and the bill can gradually increase, like they can stack up to a larger bill.
Please, one instance at a time.
Yes.
Max 2. Max size 15. If you're creating your space, your EBS should be maximum 15. Please.
Yeah. And also, when you are done, make sure to either stop the instance or remove the instance fully. Because remember, it's not just the storage. There is a time limit also, 750 minutes. So if you create one more instance, the time gets divided between two. That means you are exhausting. Like if you keep them running, both of them at the same time, you will exhaust the whole time in 15 days. And the next 15 days, they will charge you for both the instances. So we don't want that. So if you want to run 24/7, use only one instance within 30 GB and make sure they are free tier. You'll be good. But always make it a habit. Do not keep your instances running after you are done. Always remove the whole thing. I hope that should be clear. So yeah, that's how you increase. So you go to the storage, like here you will see the storage, how much you're using, like how much your storage is being used, everything you will see here. I will like teach you how to read these things, but this will require a little bit of like experience. But this tells you how much data or operations are being done. So right now there's nothing. That's why it is 0.73. Like even not even 1% of your storage is being used. So that is like running fine. It's still taking time. It's taking time. We go back. Because I just wanted to show you like you cannot go back here once you create it. Is that? Yeah, okay. It's still. Oh, it's yeah, it's still optimizing. No worries. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. This will take time. So while it is creating, let me show you something. Again, I'll show you something. So here, for example, I want to take a backup, right? Let me show you how to take a backup also. So if anything happens, right? As Stanley was saying, like if something gets corrupted, your system gets corrupted, right? Remember one thing in AWS, if your system gets corrupted, right, your workload may be gone, because here it's not a physical PC that you can take to a technician and they can repair. It doesn't work like this here. So here, usually what we do is we create backups. So to create a backup, what we can do is we can just go to action, image and template and create an image. You just need to do this. The best part of this thing is once you create an image, right, it will create a snapshot. Snapshot means whatever workload I was running, if it gets deleted, corrupted, or whatever happens to this workload, I can always restore the same workload, running the same things from that snapshot. You can do that from VMware also. I'll show you from the VMware part also, but like this also gives you that best thing. You can restore the whole workload in an instant just by using that snapshot. That's a backup feature that it gives you. So it backs up your storage as well as your your operating system and your workload within the instance. It will back up everything. So companies do this. They take the backup, and whenever something goes wrong, they just restore from that particular place. And the workload will be running as it is. Like you will never know that something happened to this instance. That kind of backup. And it's as easy as just like to go and take the backup. Oh my God, it's taking time. Oh, it's done. Okay, 99%. Okay. Let's see. It should be done in a while now. So what I want to demonstrate here is you have to know when you're working with cloud, like specifically what you need and how much you need. Because when, as an engineer, you will be recommending teams and everyone, right? That's why these things require testing. Like this can tell you, a testing can tell you like how much data you need, how much space it will take up, right? What will be the network speed, like everything you can gather, and then you can recommend. So if you recommend something huge, the company will have to pay that much money, and then the cost will be like will increase, and the money the company will be paying too much. So the companies don't want that, by the way. No one wants to pay much. So it will be on you. And also you also don't want to pay much. So let's see. It's taking time. Just give it a minute. I think it should be done. Oh, they have created something. Stanley, there?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is they have added recently. Fault injection service to their EBS. So you can like do resilience testing to their EBS storages. Yeah, that's a new thing. Okay, we can include this one also.
Okay.
Like you can do fault tolerance testing, like if their EBS is working fine, is it like getting faulty?
Okay.
Wow, it's stuck on 99%. It was stuck on 0%, then it got to 99, and then stuck on 99.
So is it possible? Like, can you show them how to record, like how to provision for an EBS using the image, for instance, like how to create an instance from an image, so they know like if there's a
Yeah.
problem
Okay.
from
Let
attack.
me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Yeah. Let
Yeah.
me see. So right now you saw like how I created a backup, right? So the backups goes into here. You see, remember this snapshots thing that I was talking about? So you can go here. Either you can go to AMIs. This is where we create. So we created an image here, and it should be in the available state. So when you take a backup, an image is created. So for example, I want to back up and create a new instance, right? My instance got deleted somehow. Somehow it got deleted. What I can do is I can just select this, click on action, and launch. Sorry, there it is. Launch instance from AMI. Click on this, and the whole process will be same. It's just that you don't have to select anything now. You just do like give it a name. Let me just name it test. You don't need to choose anything, nothing. Just choose the name, because AMI and everything it already backed up. It already backed up what was the instance, what was the image, what is the like this SSH is required obviously. See, I backed up 15 GB, so it says 15 GB and launch. I did not do anything. I just chose the name and I just made sure, okay, yeah, this thing proceed without a keeper. That's okay, and that's it, nothing, and launch. By default, whenever you take a backup, right, it saves all the settings as well. So the settings are a replica of the instance that you took a backup of. So when I refresh now, one more instance is created. There it is. And the best part of this instance is, if I go back and I check the security, by default, it will be like this 22. Let me open this thing, port 80. Let me show you the best part. So if you remember, I did not even log into this instance, right? This is very new. This is restored from the replica. I didn't install anything. I did not run any command. I'm just doing what? I'm just copying the public IP, going to a new tab and opening it. HTTP, enter. There. Everything is as it is on the other instance, which I took backup of. I did not install anything. I did not save anything. On the first instance, I had to go run apt update, then do an install, and then I was able to see. Here, I didn't even log into that instance. That instance is still running. You see the IP here, 100.53. If I go here, there it is, 100.53. So I'm accessing this instance.
Yeah, so this is a crucial step that you guys should understand, because in case your web server is hacked or something happens, say something is being compromised on your server, you have to take it down and reinstall it again. This is the recovery action that you take. You just launch an instance, go to the images, and you launch from an AMI. It takes you back to the same state that you were, so your users can start using the service again as if nothing happened. I don't know if you understand.
And this is what companies also use in real time. Companies also use AWS backups to take backups of this, and they restore these images, because they don't have time to like go and recreate the whole thing. It will take a lot of time, and downtime makes money. Like it will need money, right? The more the websites are down, they will be losing money, and they don't want that.
Yes. So some companies have policies for these AMIs that will require you to take them probably every 3 days. Some companies do every 1 day, every day. By the close of every day, you take images for that particular day, because anything can happen anytime. So some
and
companies
because they cannot do
Go.
manually every day, right? They cannot hire someone that can do manual backups. So what they do is they just automate the same process. For weekly backup, daily backup, depends on like how the company needs that.
Exactly. So
and it's easy. It's not much to do. You just go to actions, image, and just create an image. That's it.
That's it.
Nothing extra.
Just 3 steps.
Yeah, that volume is done. Let me go back to that volume. That volume is in state. Let me show you that as well. Yeah, there. See, the volume is active now. Everything is in use. Now, this is 15 GB, right? And I go to modify volume. See one thing, here it is saying 15. I change it to maybe 8 GB again. Do you see something? It says the size of the volume can only be increased and not decreased. So I can go beyond 15 GB, I can do 16. But the moment I do 14, I cannot do that. So this is really important. Once you increase the size, you cannot decrease the size again. You can only increase. That's why whenever we build something, whenever we provision something, we start with the smallest size so that if needed, we can increase. But there is no option to go back again, like to decrease. Like if you want to go back, you will have to replace this hard drive with a different one. But then you will lose your work data because the data was in that hard drive and not this one. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So here you can just increase, you cannot decrease because see, they are money making companies. So they don't want to lose on money because if you decrease the workload, obviously they will be losing. So they won't let you do that. So that's why like it is important to deal with this cloud. So if you understand these things, you will be very much secure. You will be like running it free of cost. But the moment you do mistakes, if you don't follow up, right, then they will start charging you, and you will not want that. Okay. Okay. We'll continue after this then, because this is something that is like important because we'll be learning about this DNS lookup, handshakes. This is like going in depth into the networking. But I would like you guys to like go through the what is it called, the private and public network. Just read about that, right? What that is. Read about security group. Do what we have practiced till now. Try to install Kali. If you have AWS account, try to provision an EC2 instance. Do those things. Practice. Note it down, right? Because until you have done that, I cannot deep dive into those topics because these can get complicated and this will start stacking upon your courses. So you will have some time. Stanley, you can guide them and just make sure they are doing a little bit of practice.
Yeah, no, sure. I think from now, before we step into this, for today we just did the introduction to networking.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys have
Networking
a
and the
clue
basic, yeah,
and the basic.
EBS
So
and
you
all.
guys have a clue. So I think Singh will be out for a while. So by the time he comes back, we are going to do a couple of classes. Then I will take you guys again. I'm going to remediate with you guys until he comes back. When he comes back now, then you guys we can resume. But you guys will do a lot of remediation with me so that I take you back and make sure that every concept that you guys have learned so far, everything has stick in your mind before we get into networking, because there are a lot of concepts that are going to come that you need to understand um, how to how to write these commands in Linux, what these commands mean, what these concepts stand for, so that you can know how to transition into networking, because networking is the backbone of cybersecurity. So you need to master these basic concepts. So I make sure that you guys are ready, so that by the time he comes back, you guys are ready now to dive into networking.
Yeah, I'll be back by just like next week, so you will have a week of time to like practice. So I think that will be ample enough time for the basics, right? And then we continue from there.
Exactly. So, Sophie, I see your hand is up.
Yes, sir. Please, I need to ask that in regards to the GB, is it always like an advisable amount of GB to start with before you increase with time?
Start with Kali.
So I mean the amount of GB, like gigabytes.
Amount of
8 GB by default, 8 GB.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I want you to start using the terms of the course. It's very important. You will not know these things. Start using the terms of the stuff. You have to talk about the storage. You use these terms that you are learning, because that's how you're going to communicate. Guess what? In interviews, if you say anything that's funny, they will just look at you as if you're just fucking crazy. So you have to know the language of the course, master the language of the course. And I always say that it's not about how much you know, but how much you can how much you can say you know. Because some people are good talkers, some people are very intelligent, but they cannot talk well. So if you cannot talk well, someone who can talk well, who doesn't know much, they are going to hire that person.
Yeah. The thing is like
Yes.
if you know something and if you can't express it, So there's no meaning of knowing it because you cannot even explain someone.
So please try to master the language of the course. If you're talking about you said GB, you can use storage. You can use EBS. Use terms that everyone will kind of connect with you. So try to master the language of the course. It's like you going to economics and you call it a very funny term. No one is going to understand. You go to economics and you say EBS. No, they'll look at you as if, who the hell is this guy? What do you mean EBS? But if you come to cybersecurity or AWS, you call EBS. Everybody know that it is a block storage.
Yeah.
So every language has every course has its own language. So try to master the language of the course. Yeah, Leo, go ahead. Leo, I see your hand up.
So talking about us installing Kali Linux, you did mention about something for the Mac service that to use the terminal.
You can see if you have you can use terminals like whatever I think Stanley will show you the normal commands, the cd command, mkdir, whatever commands that he will show you, you can run it on your terminal. It will work as it is. It won't have any issues. The Kali commands, right? Like if you want to run any tools that is related to cybersecurity, that is something else that you will need to install. But that can also be done. That is not a problem. But the only thing will be because everyone will be running a Kali, so the tools are already installed there. But you may need to install because you're not running that. So that is the only difference.
Yeah, guys, you guys don't worry. I think we have Wednesday and other days. We'll go through that installation step by step, so everyone is on speed. So please, for next class, you guys should prepare your machines. Make sure that we are going to walk everyone through the installation, and we'll make sure that everyone tests their first commands. Make sure they are in, and you test your first command. Take a screenshot of it and send it in the group so that make sure that everyone has that already sorted out before we move forward. Because if you need to practice these commands, then we know how to provision. We're going to provision for the cloud account so that you guys can also see how you can start getting your hands dirty when it comes to AWS. So you start provision for the services, you make them, you spin up these instances, you delete them when you're done. So very important. So you guys just, I think we have enough time.
And you don't have to worry about Kali too much because right now the things that you will be using on Kali will be coming very later because first you'll have to know your basics like how to create things, destroy things, right? Delete, create files, create directories. Those are the first things that you'll have to master first, right? Then only you can get into those things.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not stressing you guys about Kali for now, but we are going to, the first thing that we're going to do is I want to make sure that you guys have, I need an account with AWS because these are, you guys need to be following, because when it's doing these things and you are trying on your own, it is, you learn so easily and so faster. So please,
if you can replicate what I'm doing.
We'll make provisions for your cloud account so that you guys can chime in and see how you can start typing those commands on your board and see how you can start feeling like someone who's doing cybersecurity. So, but the basic for today, you guys have learned security groups, inbound, outbound rules. These are the basics. Network, public and private networks. What do they stand for? Public and private IPs. Why do they exist? What's the essence of a router in between? So you have to understand how these things work. When you have a good basics and good understanding of these things, you see that you have a very strong core for networking, because when it comes to now routing tables, you really understand what is a router. If you understand what is a router, then to understand what are routing tables will not be that difficult again. So by the time you start configuring your VPCs, you don't have any problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are just the basics like that you have to just remember. Like, see, the best part of this thing is when we will be working with AWS, right? These are the things that you will be using on day-to-day basis. The only thing is that you'll have to practice. Once you start practicing, you don't even think about this because without them, you can't even go the next step. So this is something that we use every day. So I don't know whatever you learn or not, but this is something that you will never forget because we'll be using it like every day. So I would like you to just recreate those things what you're doing here. and it's not that hard. You will get it in like one go. It's that easy.
Okay, guys. I think if you guys have any questions, please.
I would like when I come back, I would like questions from you guys. Like, I would love it.
Don't worry.
I'll come up with a quiz as well. I'll come up with a quiz for you guys.
Okay, perfect. So, so I think there are lots of quizzes already. So I think we'll be going through a lot of quizzes, but I think next class we'll have to do the quizzes. Then on
Yeah, I'll
Friday,
do
I
a
think
quiz. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I'll be ready. I'll make sure you guys are also ready. You can take a quiz and see how we can progress.
Yeah.
So if you guys are, I think the class is done for today. If anyone has any other thing to say to add, you're please welcome to talk. If not, then I think we can call it a day for today.
This should be okay. Like, they can practice like installing Kali. They can all have the AWS account. They can practice to create EC2 instances. That will be more than enough for them, and like testing the security groups and all. And once I come back, and then we can continue from there. At least they will have their basics ready in that time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Then I'll see you, and I hope you guys practice and like be ready with your questions. Okay. Okay then, guys. Bye. Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye bye. See.
Bye.
Go back.